Punk cabaret superstar Amanda Palmer began her TED Talk, The Art of Asking, by reminiscing about her post-undergraduate days as a self-employed 8-foot bride. If you've ever wondered who actually does that stuff, well, Amanda Palmer is your answer. Back then, she would stand on a crate, paint herself in white, dress as a bride, and besides of providing a surprisingly predictable income for the budding musician, the lesson she learned was how to truly connect with people. Because for each person that dropped, whether it was a nickel, a quarter, a dollar, or more, in her hat, she would look them straight in the eye and have a silent conversation. With her eyes, she would hand the flower and say, "Thank you. I see you." And she would hand them the flower, and they would look her in the eyes, and silently their eyes would say, "No one else sees me. You see me. Thank you." There's a Sanskrit word that describes this experience. It's called namaste. And roughly translated, namaste means the divine in me recognizes and greets the divine in you. Isn't that powerful? I experienced a namaste moment like this recently when I met a beautiful young girl named Jasmine. One of the hats I wear in the world is that of president of a nonprofit organization that exposes youth to positively to law enforcement role models while helping them develop self-esteem, skills, and have fun through various activities. And one of our organization's initiatives led us to partner with the county to open a pool in an economically depressed area. And that's where I first met Jasmine. She was sitting on the steps of the pool, just inside of what we like to call the testing lane. And we have a radically inclusive environment at the pool. Whether you are an adult or a child, even the lifeguard, before you can go on the other side of the lane without a vest, you have to swim the width of the pool. So there was Jasmine, staring down that gauntlet, sitting on the steps, all eyes. When my eyes met hers, I really saw her. I read her deep desire to be something bigger than she'd ever been before. So I asked her, "Would you like to take the test?" Before she could answer, her mom chimed in very quickly. "She isn't a good swimmer. She won't be able to do it." Jasmine's shoulders slumped. But I get where her mom was coming from. No one in the family was a swimmer. And Jasmine was only about 8 years old, and truth be told, she was small for her age. But I just looked deeply into those beautiful brown eyes, and I could see the war going on and her desire to expand beyond what was impossible for her family. So I stepped into the pool, and I asked if she would like for me to walk with her as she swam. Her smile reached her eyes. She came alive and stepped from the steps into the pool with me. Jasmine's mom was grateful that I was willing to be in the pool with her daughter, which I could tell she still radiated doubt and concern. With her nervous mother looking on and me at her side, Jasmine began to swim, and I began to coach her. She started slowly at first, with messy, uneven strokes. But within that first quarter of the pool, her strokes became more even. She started to get confident. "Great job, Jasmine. You're doing fine. Keep up the good work. That's it," I shouted. By the time we reached the halfway point, the whole pool was watching. All eyes were on Jasmine. "Great job, Jasmine. I can see the end of the pool from here. You're doing so well. Nice and strong. You're swimming nice and strong." And she was. She was. Just shy of the 3/4 mark, Jasmine began to sink. With each stroke, I was watching her dip lower and lower. She was exhausted. It was showing in every movement. I'm sure her muscles were aching. And the cheering crowd also noticed, and it was like everyone just held their breath. "Jasmine," I shouted, "you're almost there. I believe in you. Take a deep breath. You can do this." She chose to take the breath, and with that breath, she lifted out of the water. I saw her pinch her face tightly, and then she opened her eyes, and there was a fire in the depths of those brown eyes that would inspire countries to peace, to greatness. It was incredible to see that light come on. And so she began to swim harder, and she'd been swimming all along, and it took her to victory. When she touched the side of that pool, the whole crowd erupted. I even heard her mom say, "My baby did it! My baby did it!" Jasmine took a moment to catch her breath, but I'll tell you, when she pushed out of that pool, she strutted over to her family like she'd won the Olympic gold. It was incredible. She was spiritually alive in that moment. Everyone in that pool was spiritually alive in that moment. Spiritually alive, radically inclusive, justice-centered. A trinity that leads to true greatness. The commitment of a non-profit, justice-centered organization determined to create a safe, welcoming environment full of possibility in an area that was traditionally marginalized made this event possible. The courageous organization, alive with purpose, staffed a non-revenue generating program with dedicated paid staff and volunteers like me, trained to be on the lookout for the Jasmines of the world that can inspire all of us to greatness. I can't help but notice the parallels between what led to my experience with Jasmine and the ministry that we are creating at Florida Gulf Coast University. Only this time, it's the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fort Myers that is stepping up as the justice-centered, faith-based organization prepared to serve a marginalized population. This Wednesday, July 10th, 2013, is a historic day for all of us. On this date, we will formally be included in the FGCU faith community when I'm installed as a representative of this church and our Unitarian Universalist faith. Our motto for the program comes straight for the Unitarian Universalist Association, and there is no coincidence, it's the title of today's sermon: Spiritually Alive, Radically Inclusive, Justice-Centered. Just like the program that helped Jasmine discover her power, our campus ministry is not a revenue-generating project. Instead, it's an investment in our future. The Unitarian Universalist Association has identified a startling statistic. We 90% of our youth when they reach college age. 90%. Why? Because we aren't serving them on college campuses. They can't always come to us. We have to go to them. Right now, the evangelical churches are doing a phenomenal job of serving the FGCU campus. Their programs are dynamic, they are engaging, they are fully staffed by paid ministers. But where do our non-Judeo-Christian students go? Where does that leave historically marginalized groups like LGBTQ, atheist, pagan, Buddhist, and liberal faiths? It leaves these precious individuals on the steps of the pool, wanting so much to be more, but there's nobody there to invite them to swim. Starting this week, I'm getting in the pool on behalf of Unitarian Universalists everywhere. I'm committing 20 hours a week to creating a dynamic, welcoming space where all students and staff can be seen and loved for who they are. But in the moment of recognizing each person is important, that we're all connected, and that in that connection there is a power greater than anything waiting to be birthed, we find only a starting point. That's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, seeing them on the steps. We have to be ready to issue the invitation and stay in the pool with them. We're a living, breathing, democratic, non-creedal faith. In short, Unitarian Universalism is a faith that asks questions. There's no neat little package of pre-written answers we can give our FGCU brethren that says, this is how you get across the pool. But we have our principles. Each person is important. Be kind in all you do. We're free to learn together. We search for what is true. All people need a voice. Build a fair and peaceful world. Care for the earth. These principles are deeply moving. They're true guidelines for a great life. But hard and fast answers to why can't I be like everyone else? Why did my family reject me? Why do I love the person I love? Why does my mom have cancer? Why did my boyfriend die of an overdose? Why does someone hate me for the color of my skin? We don't offer pat answers to those questions. So what is it then that we do offer seekers of truth and meaning in this setting? How do we get them across the pool? Let me remind you of the moment in Jasmine's journey when she began to sink into the water. It would have been so easy for me to lift her. Just a slight tap with one hand would have given her a boost. That's all it would have taken. Just one little tap. I could have lifted her out of the water. I could have done that. But I would have stolen from her. I would have stolen her victory. Because that would have meant that she didn't get across that pool by the power within her. She did. She found the power in herself, because instead of doing it for her, I shared wisdom and knowledge from years of training, from a variety of sources, and encouraged her to find her own power. And that's exactly how our students at FGCU will find their answers, their power. This is the true gift of what we offer. To me, this is the power of the Unitarian Universalist spiritual process. This life-giving, empowering process that we offer takes commitment. Jimmy Carter once said, "True democracy takes time." And I agree. I would add, true spiritual growth also takes time. And so does creating a loving, radically inclusive community. That's why I'm asking everyone who hears this message to commit with me to staying in the pool. And you can do that by donating funds, time, or talents. Help me to walk with our students, or walk with me as we provide this welcoming, safe environment, support and services, pastoral care. Let us share part of our whole with them. Let us offer opportunities so they can continue to ask those important questions and delve deeply into their hearts and fight through the exhaustion between studies and life to discover their true greatness. Together, I know we can do this. I know we can. I believe that by this time next year, the majority of the more than 14,000 students, plus faculty and staff, will know that the Unitarian Universalist services and functions are a safe place to come, to find grounding, growth, support, and inclusion. A place where everyone can really come and be seen for who they are, loved for who they are, and nourished as they become who they are meant to be. Offering an on-campus, welcoming, inclusive service, pastoral care, meditation moments during the week, and other nourishing activities, this is a start. I believe that we can be a birthplace for justice and equality on campus. I can see it so clearly. Students standing on the side of love, supporting their LGBTQ brothers and sisters with vigils, peace talk panels, moving beyond anti-war to creating peace. I believe that we can be a voice for those who have been silenced, supporting the forgotten and the marginalized through life-giving, empowering programming. I believe that we can be a place of love, a beacon for hope, a catalyst for change. We can provide programming, mentorship, and even open our eco-preserve to those who experience the spirit through working with nature. We have so much to offer. We can reach the minds, hearts, and spirits of these emerging leaders of our world and ignite their passion to love, cherish, and honor the earth and all of its creatures. I believe that we can bring the process of discovering true power and the interconnectedness of all beings to our students. I believe that we can do this and so much more by inviting these bright spirits we serve to share their vision. It is their ministry. And invite participation in that ministry. I believe this with every fiber of my being. Will you believe with me? Because it's going to take all of us. It's going to take Naples, it's going to take All Faith, it's going to take the entire region and the Unitarian Universalist churches across the nation to stand up for this population that has been falling through our cracks. It takes all of us. Please join with me in this vision. My time with Jasmine reminded me that there's a power in each of us that is bigger than anything we face. Some call that power goddess, others God, Yahweh, Spirit. Others call it the strength of the human heart. As Unitarian Universalists, we make space for them all. Please join me in a moment of prayer or contemplation as we acknowledge and draw on the power within each of us, the force connecting us all, surrounding all who enter those hallowed walls. This power fills each person with love, possibility, hope, and wholeness, lifting each of them and lifting each of us, transforming us all in good and wonderful ways. And I am so happy and so grateful knowing these truths, knowing all is done in mind and in form, that I release these words to law and invite you to celebrate them with me by saying the words, and so it is. Amen. And blessed be. I'm so grateful to be a part of this ministry, to have had the time to share space with you, to have learned from the greatest minds and brightest spirits in this congregation, to be able to take the very best of the legacies of Claire Bissell, Bill Brewer, and so many more, Barbara Gerber, and all of you, to take that with me to this campus. Till we meet again.